Hello, you are now watching a video on step-by-step solutions on how to solve past year questions. So the paper that we are looking at today is Additional Mathematics Paper 1, October-November series of 2019. So this will be the first part of the problem solving. The first question is Onset language and notation. These topics have been removed from the syllabus of 2020 to 2022. Hence, question for this topic will not appear in examination from 2020 onwards. However, to solve this question is actually very simple. We need to describe the region which is shaded on the Venn diagrams by using set notation. So for the first one, we have shaded region which is in B, but not in set A. So how do we write it as? So we are including the region which is in B, but not in set A. So we can write it as A complement intersecting with B. So the next part of the question is, first we can look at there is intersection between X and Y. So what we can write as, there is intersection, so intersection between X and Y. Alright? Continue with second part of intersection will be between X and Z. So intersection between X and Z. So both are inclusive, hence we are writing the symbol as union. So with this you will be able to get 1 mark here and 1 mark. Proceed with the second question. Find the values of K for which the line y equals to kx minus 3 and the curve y equals to 2x squared plus 3x plus k do not intersect. So the keyword of this question is do not intersect. So when we have this keyword, we know that it is relating to the discriminant value, which is b squared minus 4ac. Okay? So when two lines do not intersect with one another, we say that b squared minus 4ac is lesser than 0. Hence, we need to find out what is the a, b, and c value. So our first step will be putting these two equations together, trying to solve it and make a quadratic equation. So 2x squared plus 3x plus with k will be equivalent to kx minus 3. By putting these two equations together, you will be able to get 1 mark. Continue with putting all the values at one side. So you have 2x squared plus with 3x minus kx plus k plus 3 equals to 0. With this, we can find the coefficient of x squared and x. So 2x squared, factorize the x, you will be getting 3 minus kx plus with k plus 3. So in this form, you will clearly see that the a will be 2, b will be 3 minus k, and c is k plus 3. When you manage to get your equation in this form, in quadratic form, you will get another 1 mark. Now, since we know that, this is related to the discriminant value, so we put all the a, b, c value in your discriminant formula, where you will get 3 minus k squared minus 4 a c lesser than 0. Any attempt of you using the discriminant value will allow you to get another 1 mark. The next step will be simplifying the equation by expanding the equation to give you 9 minus 6k plus with k squared minus 8k. You have 8 times 3, which will give you minus 24 lesser than 0. Continue to simplify the whole equation. You will be able to get k squared minus 14k minus 15, which is lesser than 0. From here, since you have the quadratic equation, what you can do is you can factorize the equation to give you a negative 15 here, 1 here, plus 1 lesser than 0. You will be able to get the critical values, which is k equals to negative 1 and k equals to 15. Getting the correct critical values will give you another 1 mark. Lastly, prove your answer by using number line or using graph sketching. So in this case, if I'm using graph sketching, so what I'll get is, since a is a positive value, so I will get a minimum graph where my critical values is negative 1 and 15. So the region that I am looking is lesser than 0. So the region which is lesser than 0 is always below the axis. Hence, the region that I'm looking at is this. Therefore, the final answer will be k falls in between negative 1 and 15. So with this, you will get your final mark here. Let's move on to question number 3. So given that 7 to the power of x multiplied with 49 to the power of y equals to 1, and 5 to the power of 5x multiplied with 125 2y over 3 equals to 1 over 25. You have to calculate the value of x and of y. So first thing you can do is to make the base the same for the first equation. So what you can do is you can write it as 7 to the power of x times with 7 to the power of 2 y equivalents to 7 to the power of 0. We know that any number, if it is power of 0, it will be equivalent to 1. Hence, it can be written in this way. Hence, from here, we can write it, since all the bases are the same, so we can write it as x plus with 2y equivalents to 0. So, now let's look at the other equation. So, you have 5, let's erase this first. You have 5 to the power of 5x multiply with 5 to the power of 3. As we know, 125 can be written as 5 to the power of 3. So, times with 2y over 3 equals to 5 to the power of negative 2. Okay, 25 is equivalent to 5 to the power of 2. So, write it, bring the power up so it becomes negative 2. So, from here you can simplify the equation and you will be getting 5 to the power of 5x multiply with 5 to the power of 2y equals to 5 to the power of negative 2. And here again you will see that the three bases are the same. Hence, it can be written as 5x plus with 2y equals to negative 2. Up to here, you will be able to get 3 marks already. The first mark will go to when you simplify 49 and 125 into the simplest base. So either this or this, you will get your first mark. The next marks will go to when you have the whole equation as 7x plus 7 times with 7 to the power of 2y equals to 7 to the power of 0. You will get another 1 mark. Same thing goes to the other side. When you put 5 to the power of negative 2 equals to the whole thing, you will get another 1 mark. Continue with this. When you have gotten your two equations, 1 and 2, you will get another 1 mark. Lastly, you have to solve the equation simultaneously to get your value of x and y. So let's proceed to solve it by using substitution. So we can write x equals to negative 2y. So when you have equation number 1, this is your equation number 2. Substitution of equation number 1 into equation number 2. So 5 times with negative 2y plus with 2y equals to negative 2. Hence here, negative 10y plus 2y equals to negative 2. You will be getting negative 8y equals to negative 2. Hence y will be equals to 1 over 4. Substituting y value in any of the equation, either is the first one or the second equation, you will be able to get x equals to negative 1 over 2. With the values of x and y correct, you will be able to get your answer mark. We will now proceed to question number 4. It is given that y equals to ln in the bracket of 4x squared plus 1 over 2x minus 1. To differentiate this equation, you have to first assign the numerator as u and the denominator as v. By using the formula or the quotient law, which refers to dy dx equals to v du dx minus u dv dx over v squared. So now in this case, u will be equivalent to ln of 4x squared plus 1. So getting du dx will be 1 over 4x squared plus 1 multiplied with the derivative of 4x squared plus 1, which is 8x. Hence, the derivative of u with respect to x will be 8x over 4x squared plus 1. Continue from here. So to get dy dx, we substitute from here. The v will be 2x minus 3 multiply with 8x over 4x squared plus 1 minus u, which is ln of 4x squared plus 1 times with 2. The whole thing divided by 2x minus 3 to the power of 2. You can leave your answer in this form and you will be able to get full marks. The marks allocation will be 1 mark for getting the derivative of ln 4x squared plus 1. Second mark is you attempt to differentiate all the other terms using quotient rule. So you will get 1 mark here and putting everything in quotient rule correctly. The next part of the questions is asking you to find the approximate change in y as x increases from 2 to 2 plus h, where h is small. So the first step you can do is to find the change in x. So the change in x can be found by taking 2 plus h minus 2. Hence it is h. We know that change in y over change in x is equivalent to dy dx. Hence, to continue with this, we will take dy dx multiplied with the change in x. And this happens when x is equivalent to 2 from the question. So the dy dx that we have obtained in the previous questions is this. So we will put all the values of x equals to 2 in this particular equation. So now let's do the substitution. So 2 multiply with 2 minus 3 times with 8 multiplied with 2 divided by 4 times 2 to the power of 2 plus 1 minus ln of 4 multiplied with 2 to the power of 2 plus 1 multiplied by 2. The whole thing is divided by 2 times with 2 minus 3 and then square. Putting all the values in your calculator, and you will be able to get 16 over 7 minus 2 ln of 17. And to continue with this, you have to multiply with the change in x, which is h. So this whole thing is multiplied with h. Hence, your final answer will give you negative 4.73h. So the marks allocation will be when you attempt to put all the values of x to be 2, you will get your first mark. The next mark will go to getting the final answer. We will now proceed to question number 5, where you are given the function of x and also function of g. You have to write down the range of f and of g, given that x are real numbers. So in this case, for fx, 3 exponential of 2x plus 1. Just consider that if this particular part of the questions, is actually approaching to 0, so which means that function of f will have at least 1. Hence, we can write that function of f has to be more than 1, even though this particular part is near to 0. So, for next question, function of g, where x values are all real numbers, hence the value of g will be also real numbers. You will get 1 mark for writing this and 1 mark for writing this. Let's move on to the next part of the question, where question asks you to evaluate the composite function of f g to the power of 2 within the bracket 0. So we can actually say this as f g with the composite function of g, and then x value to be equals to 0. We can first solve this. Solving this is just substitute 0 in the function of g, where your function of gx is equivalent to x plus 1. So when you substitute 0 in the position of x, you will be getting 1. Hence you can write fg, function of g, when substitute 0 will be equivalent to 1. Continue to solve this part where you substitute 1 in the position of x, where you have 1 plus 1, so getting 2. So you will be getting f in the bracket of 2. So lastly, put the value of 2 in the function of f, where your function of f, x, will be equals to 3 exponential of 2x, 3 exponential of 2x plus 1. So putting value of 2 in the equation, 2 times 2 plus 1, you will be getting 3 exponential of 4 plus 1. Hence, that will be your answer. Your attempt to get any of these values will give you 1 mark. Lastly, your final answer will give you another 1 mark. To add on this, you can actually write your answer in decimal, where 164.8, but please leave your answer in 3 significant figures. It will also give you 1 mark for the final answer. We will now proceed to question number 5, part 3. You are asked to sketch the function of f and its inverse, stating the coordinates of the point where the graph meets the coordinate axis. So first you need to have an idea of how do we sketch the exponential graph. So how do we sketch the exponential graph? So you have learned about exponential graph where it is a curve like this which always intersect at 1. This is exponential of x. Since in this case you have a coefficient of 3, which means that this intersection at 1 will become times 3. So it will be 3. So we will label it as 3. So another thing that we have to consider that the whole graph is plus 1, which means that this whole graph will be moving up for 1 unit. Hence your point of intersection from 3, it will become 4. So to sketch this graph, just simply sketch a curve, okay, which is intersecting at 4. So as you can see here, your coordinates of intersection will be 0 and 4. And this will be your y equals to fx. For its inverse, we also learned that for all the inverse graph, it is actually the reflection at the equation of y equals to x. Alright? When you have the intersection at 0, 4, so its inverse will be at 4, 0. Hence, your reflection will be here. So this is how you sketch the graph of function of f and its inverse. You will get 1 mark for the first function and show the coordinates of the intersection on the y-axis. Another 1 mark will be given on the next graph, the inverse graph, with the point of intersection at 4, 0. Lastly, when you actually show that y is equals to x or any symmetry is implied, then you will be able to get another 1 mark. We will now look at question number 6. Find the equation of the normal to the curve y equals to set of 8x plus 5 at the point where x is equals to 1 over 2. So you have to give your answer in the form of ax plus by plus c equals to 0. So the keyword of this question is normal. So when we see the word normal, it relates us to the word tangent. So when you're given an equation of the curve, to get the gradient of the tangent, what you can do is you have to differentiate the equation of the curve. So first, I can write y equals to 8x plus 5 to the power of 1 over 2. dy dx will be equals to 1 over 2 8x plus 5 to the power of negative 1 over 2 times with derivative of 8x plus 5, which is equals to 8. Simplify and you will be able to get 4 8x plus 5 to the power of negative 1 over 2. Putting x equals to 1 over 2, okay, you will be able to get the gradient of the tangent. Okay, so 4 times with 8 multiplied with 1 over 2 plus 5 to the power of negative 1 over 2. So now put all the values in your calculator and you will be able to get your answer of gradient of the tangent as 4 over 3. So gradient of the normal, okay, since tangent and normal are perpendicular to one another, so the gradient of the normal will be negative 3 over 4. To find the equation of the normal, we will need the gradient and also the coordinates. So you already have the gradient and you have the coordinate of x. So what you need to do is to find the coordinate of y. So to get the coordinate of y will be equivalent to substitute the value of x, 1 over 2 plus 5. And you will be able to get the answer as 3. So with this, to find the equation of the normal, simply just put it in y equals to mx plus c, where your y value is 3, gradient as negative 3 over 4, x is equivalent to 1 over 2 plus with c. Solving this, and you will be able to get c as equivalent to 27 over 8. So your equation of normal to be y equals to negative 3 over 4 x plus with 27 over 8. But again, this is not your final answer. Your final answer has to be in the form of ax plus by plus c. So hence, you have to write it in this form. What you can do is multiply the whole equation by 8. So you will be getting 8y equals to negative 6x plus with 27. Hence, bring everything to one side of the equation and you will get 6x plus 8y minus 27 equals to 0. The marks allocation will be when you are able to differentiate the equation to get it in this form, you will get 1 mark. Getting the gradient of the normal, 1 mark. Getting the y coordinate, 1 mark. Your attempt to find the equation of the normal, and then lastly writing the equation of normal in this form, 1 mark. Total 5 marks for this question. We have now come to an end of this video. So I will solve question 7 until question number 10 for this paper in the next video. Click subscribe to our channel for the next part of the video. Thank you for watching.